All right, YouTube, we are back live. I have no idea what happened there. I looked up at my phone screen, and for whatever reason, it was completely black. So I have no idea why the live on YouTube just abruptly ended like that. Um, but once I completely finish with this, working on this recipe video, I will go back and look and see, hopefully be able to find out what happened. This actually happened once before, um, like a month ago or so. I forget what I was making. I think I was making like lubia, like black eyed peas or something like that. I honestly don't remember, but for whatever reason, like the live ended. Um, and then I had to restart it again, like a part two continuation. So I do apologize for that technical difficulty to anybody who was watching on YouTube. To bring everybody back up to speed, welcome to my kitchen. I am Mohammed the Egyptian Cook, and for today's live, we are making Mahshi Bidingan, which is stuffed eggplant. We already made the Mahshi filling by making the homemade tomato sauce, which comprised of onions, tomatoes, garlic, tomato, ground coriander, cumin, sea salt, black pepper. We gave it a nice mix and blended it. And then for the filling, we added to complete the mahshi filling, we added some chopped parsley, cilantro, and fresh dill, and then washed Egyptian ruz. Ruz is Arabic for rice, and Egyptian style ruz is essentially a medium grain rice. We mixed it all together to make this mahshi filling. Now we are about to make the eggplant, or prepare the eggplants, I should say. Long and skinny eggplant is best for making mahshi. I just had one more word. Let's try this again. Long and skinny eggplants is best. I should not say it plural since I'm only using one, or showing one, I should say. Long and long and skinny eggplant is best for using. Long and skinny eggplant is best for making, not. I said using. I should be saying making. So let's get rid of that clip. Long and skinny eggplant is best for use. Is here I go again saying using. Long and long and skinny eggplant is best for making mahshi bidingan. I was about to say using again. Best for making. Don't say using, making. Long and skinny eggplant is best for making mahshi bidingan. I got it that time. Let's hope everything's that the eggplant is in focus, and then we should be good to go. All right, we're in focus. Long and skinny. Nope. Long and skinny eggplant is best for making mahshi bidingan. That should be okay. you will need a vegetable core like this. Let's move this out of the way temporarily. Let's do it in just a little bit more. All right, looks like we're in focus. Let's do this. I'm going to do one more. That one was okay. I kind of went off at center. So let's try it again with another one and go from there. So let me fast forward to that very last part. That should be okay. I got the shot that I needed for the one Now let's go ahead and run through the rest of these eggplants, I should say. So I'm simply just pulling it by the extension of the leaf or stem. That way we have as little waste as possible. Once the stem is completely exposed, you can either break it off or just simply slice it right at the stem. Very little waste as possible. And just cut the end flat like so. Oops, that's the remote, it's not eggplant. Whatever. It is what it is. Just like that. Internal temperature too high. All right, let me clear off my cutting board. Be right back. I actually flipped the switch on the camera since it just overheated. Just going to give it a few minutes to cool down. Here's the Mahshi filling that we made at the beginning of this live. It's homemade tomato sauce with parsley, cilantro, dill, and Egyptian style ruz, which is a medium grain rice. While we're waiting on the camera to cool down, I'm going to work on just a couple of these. Let's see. This one will save for the actual camera itself. This one too, and this one. Vegetable core, eggplant, based on the size of the vegetable core you want, that you have. You don't need to go all the way to the end, to the other end of the eggplant. So that's okay. Leaving that much of a cushion at the bottom, like up to an inch of a cushion at the bottom. It's very simple. Just start at the end where the stem was. Gently push the core in and try to keep it straight so you don't accidentally stab through the eggplant. That's another thing too, when you go to pick these out, try to avoid the ones that are like super curved, because when it comes to coring it, it will make it more difficult. Once the core is in, you just give it a rotation, and then that first part should just come out. However, you do need to make it bigger, like the hole, to hollow this out better. So similar process, you just go in again, and then you just scrape along the side that needs to remove more. Just like that. And be careful when you're going in, because you may accidentally like break or cut the end of the eggplant. So just be careful when you're going through, and should be good to go. Minus the slight cracks that we got at the top here, it's essentially how it should look. Once again, push the vegetable core in. Simply either rotate it or rotate the eggplant, whichever is easier. I'm rotating the eggplant and just holding the core still. Oops. That first one should easily come out like it did before. If it doesn't, just don't go in the same cut. Go on the part that has a little bit more eggplant that you need to get rid of, and just essentially like cut a new hole and then rotate, and then it will overlap in some capacity, and it should come out like that. But then again, same thing, that hole is too small, so you do want to hollow out the eggplant better. So just go back in and scrape. Anything that comes out, just push it off. Like so. Like so. This one turned out better than the first one because it did not crack along the edge. Push the vegetable core in, keep it straight as you go in. Either rotate the core or the eggplant. I'm doing the eggplant and just holding the core still, and then should just like that simple. But once again, you need to make the hole bigger, you need to hollow it out better. So just continue that process. Like so. Like so. Much better. With these ones that are more curved, this one's like slightly curved, but just be careful when you're coring, when you're going in, because you don't want to accidentally stab through or cut through. If you do cut through, that's okay. You just don't want it to turn into like an actual hole to where the rice or the filling can fall out of. So just be careful and do the best that you can with this step. Considering this one is more curved, I'm only going down halfway. So I'm about stopped right here just to get this like first half cord, and then I'll do closer to the bottom once I get this first half out of the way. Give me one moment. Water with some lemon juice just to help prevent these eggplant pieces from browning. Oops. As you can see, this one started to break on 2 different sides. Just be careful when when you go in initially. This is supposed to core the eggplant, not separate it. It like split it in half. Whatever. It'll be okay. Still going to use this, make some Mashi with it, and life will be good in the end. This one just does not want to cooperate. Whatever. It's okay. Worst case scenario, if you really wanted to, like if you're so worried about the presentation, you could literally just cut it off, make this one shorter. I'm just going to leave it as it is because I'm not going to waste it or be worried about, you know, one breaking or any of that type of nonsense. So all right, I need to turn this main camera back on. I should definitely have had enough time to cool down by now. Let's see, I need to core it, okay. Carefully work your way around, okay, and how it should look like this, okay. All right, let's do this. Let's zoom it out a little bit. This one broke. Let's try this again. I have 2 left. Got to make it work with these last 2. May continue cleaning this one out. So far so good with the shot that I need. Oops. All right, ladies and gentlemen, final one. And it just broke. But whatever. It is what it is. I'll make it work still. All right. That's all of them. Oh, what are you going to do with it? Okay, خلاص. Fry it in some olive oil first, season it with sea salt, and eat it with عيش. Uh... Yelling instructions. It is what it is. All right, let me clean up my mess. Don't need this cutting board anymore. There's like 50 other cutting boards by the sink. This we don't need. This same thing. Just one moment while I get the counter cleaned up. Let's tilt this back down, bring the bowl over. All right. Now stuffed eggplants with the Mahshi filling. Okay, fill it all the way to the rim, then set it. Okay, so I need 2 shots for this part. This one looks good. Biggest opening. As long as I hold it here, close to the bowl, it will be in focus. Let's do this. So make sure the beginning part where I was stuffing it was in focus, because I was not looking at the screen while it was happening. As long as that's in focus, we are good to go. We're good to go. When stuffing this, you don't want to pack the rose like super tight. I'm simply at the beginning just pushing it through to help it reach the bottom, but you don't want to pack the rose super, super, super tight. You essentially just want it to be naturally in there, I guess you could say, because you have to keep in mind that the rose still has to cook, and when it cooks, it does expand. So if you do pack it super, super tight, like if you're just jamming the rose in there, then it can cause the eggplant to break, and you don't want it to break while cooking. Like break to the point where the rose escapes or whatever the case is and all that nonsense. You want the eggplant to stay whole and intact, like so. One looks like cilantro that did not get chopped so fine. Whatever. It is what it is. It's not the end of the world. So this one kind of broke like towards the top when I was coring it. That's okay. Just be careful when stuffing it. Like I said earlier, as long as you do not pack the rose super tight and just literally let it naturally like sit or rest in the eggplant, you should be good to go. You don't have to worry about the eggplant breaking. We're definitely going to have some mahshi filling left over, but that is okay. Any leftover mahshi filling that you have, just simply throw it in a pot, top it off with some water, and cook it exactly how you would, as if you were just making plain rice. And in the end, you'll end up with some really delicious and flavor-packed rose. You could serve it with chicken, serve it with lahma, serve it with fish, serve it with whatever your heart desires. Got 4 more to stuff. Then we can go ahead and set these in the pot. And we gotta make a tomato mixture. Then we can cook them. Oops. Nothing happened. It's okay. I'll wipe them off again before I put them in the pot. You don't want, like an abundance of the rose or the mashi filling to be on the outside. It should be on the inside of the eggplant. But who's counting anyways? these two right here are like getting buried with all the roast that keeps on falling over. Whatever. It's okay. It's all going to get eaten anyway, so it's not the end of the world. So in other news, while we're working on these last two eggplants, earlier today, my most recent recipe video for Mahshi crumb, which is Egyptian style stuffed cabbage rolls, posted. So if you have not watched it, definitely go watch it, give it a like, leave a comment, share it with your family and friends, and most importantly, try it for yourself and let me know what you think of it. The full recipe, including the list of ingredients that I use, the written instructions, and the video are all found in one place on my website, theegyptiancook.com. If you're watching it just simply on any of my social media platforms, you'll find the video, the full video, and just the recipe, the list of ingredients written in the caption. But if you're looking for also like the written step-by-step instructions as well for something for you to read along, that is exclusive to my website. But the full video is posted, so definitely check it out and let me know what you think. I made that last week, and I was live while doing so, and that was hands down the longest live I have ever done. It was like over 7 hours long. It took me forever to roll the cabbage leaves, and it was my first time ever doing it on my own. But the result, over 7 hours later, was definitely worth it. Overall, I was really pleased with the results. So definitely go check it out. My latest video for Mahshi crumb, which is Egyptian style stuffed cabbage rolls. So that is all the eggplants. All the eggplants are stuffed. Just wiping off my fingers as best as I can. Then I'm going to wash my hands. Then I'm going to bring over the stove and the pot, and we will move forward with the next steps. So I will be right back, please, and thank you. How did I say this? All right, it should look like this. Actually, I need a jar for this next one. I also need to adjust the camera angle, so just give me one moment, please, as I make these adjustments. right, so that mixture, water, sea salt, and tomato paste. Let's see, make sure. Okay. I need to grab countertop stove. And the same pot we used earlier for making the tomato sauce at the beginning of this live. I also need to adjust the camera for this next part. Let's see. Needed to match with my voiceover line where I say make sure the mahshi or make sure the eggplant is standing up. All right, it looks like it's in focus. See, then set it, make sure I just did that. Combine water, I already did that. Pour the mixture over the stuffed eggplant. Bring it to a boil. All right. But to add some more water, we definitely need more than that. Water level should be at least halfway up. The eggplant. Oops. And some of these just fell over. I failed. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Whatever. It is what it is. All right, let's move this out of the way. Let's move this out of the way as well. Now we need to bring this to a boil. Then we're gonna put the lid on it. We got some lines to record as well, all that good stuff. And then while this is cooking, we will clean up the kitchen. Let's see what lines I need to record and turn it to a boil. For whatever reason, every time I look over, my screen for TikTok looks a million times brighter than it does for YouTube. I have no idea why. While we're waiting for this to reach a boil, going to work on getting it in focus. Here's what we got left over from the mahshi filling. I purposely overshot it because I always like to repurpose this, cook it on its own. Essentially what you do, you just throw this in a pot on its own, top it off with some water as if you're cooking rice. And considering that this is Egyptian style ruz, so it only takes about 12 minutes, roughly like 10 to 12 minutes for it to cook. And then you will have some really delicious ruz to eat. You can pair it with chicken, pair it with lahma, pair it with fish, pair it with whatever you want. It is absolutely delicious and amazing. Once this reaches a boil, I have a few more shots that we need to record. One of which is a recording line. Then we're going to let this cook, do its thing. And while it cooks, we will work on cleaning up the kitchen and the 52 different cutting boards that I used today for everything. What else? Then other than that, once it's done cooking, we'll simply transfer it to a bowl. We'll garnish it with some fresh lemon juice and some greens. And we will record the shots that we need for my intro and outro, take my pictures for the video thumbnail. We will say Yalla Bismillah and we will eat. So essentially to bring everybody up to speed, for today's live we are making Mahshi Bidingan. Mahshi Bidingan is Arabic for stuffed eggplant. So we're using the long and skinny eggplants that look like this. We essentially removed the center. We used a vegetable core to remove the center, and we filled it with the mahshi filling. Starting this live, we made the mahshi filling. It's very simple to make. It is essentially, we started with the homemade tomato sauce. The tomato sauce comprised of frying some onions and minced garlic together, and once it developed some nice color and became fragrant, then we added in some roughly diced tomatoes. Then we seasoned it with coriander, cumin, sea salt, and black pepper. Gave it a nice mix, and then we introduced an immersion blender to the operation to make the tomato sauce nice and smooth like you. Once that was done, we transferred the tomato sauce to this large bowl, and then we added some chopped parsley, chopped cilantro, and fresh dill, all of them chopped. And we also added the final ingredient to make the mahshi filling was the ruz, which is Arabic for rice. We gave it a nice mix, and that is what made the mahshi filling. Then we moved on to the eggplant. We removed the stem. We cut off the same end to make it flat. Then we used a vegetable core to hollow it out. Oops. We used a vegetable core to hollow out the eggplant. Then we stuffed it with the mahshi filling. Put it in the pot. We made a like tomato broth mixture, tomato water, whatever you want to call it, mixture. Very simple, just water, sea salt, and a splash of tomato paste. Gave it a nice mix. Then we poured it in the pot. That's essentially what we will be using, what is being used to cook the mahshi. You could also use broth or whatever stock or any of that type of stuff that you want to use if you want added flavor. But keep in mind, 99% of the mahshi we make in our family, the way mama makes it, like 99% of what we of the mahshi that we make and enjoy is essentially a vegan recipe. And also we could use, you know, like vegetable broth or vegetable stock, but that's just something that we don't do. In general, there are those out there who love to use different types of broth and this and that and the other, and there are those who like to put lahma mafruma, which is ground meat, in their mahshi and all that type of stuff. And even though I love lahma and I'm always yelling lahma and where's the lahma and lahma this, lahma that, We generally do not put lahma in our mahshi. That is essentially a new, like new age tradition of for people. I don't know what it is. Everyone's just putting lahma mafruma, which is ground meat, in anything and everything. And honestly, there are just certain things like when it comes to mahshi, like even like mahshi crumb or the grape leaves. Um, I think it's a million times better when you keep it clean like this, with the filling being the rice, herbs, and tomato sauce. That's just my take on it. Do with it as you please. Looks like we got some bubbles forming in here. I need to adjust the camera for what's next. You can see it on the monitor as I am making those adjustments. Just bear with me while I do so, please and thank you. That is all types of blurry. Oh my goodness, that's not good. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. That is all types of blurry. Again. Oh boy, what is happening? Why is this happening? This. Keep this at a low simmer for about 45 minutes with the lid on. Keep this at a low simmer for about 45 minutes with the lid. Keep this at a low simmer for about 45 minutes with the lid on. Keep this at a low simmer for about 45 minutes with the lid on. Keep this at a low simmer for about 45 minutes with the lid on. Keep this at a low simmer for about 45 minutes with the lid on. Let's transfer this to my main stove behind me. All right. Let me, 1 second, I need to unplug in order to rotate you guys around. All right, so we got it right over here on my main stove. This is just kind of in the way. Set it to the side. So about 45 minutes. I mean, it took me like, what, 10 minutes just to do all that nonsense. So basically, it's 6 o'clock right now, 6:01. And like 6:30-ish, we'll check it out and see how it's looking. Just give me one moment. Let me turn off my main camera while we got this downtime. And while we got this downtime, we're also going to work on cleaning up the kitchen and the 52 different cutting boards that I used and everything. It's not too bad in here. Not completely, the worst. There's definitely been a lot worse than this. This one's the parsley, because I did the parsley on the smaller cutting board. I'm over here making up words and stuff. This, I will combine it with the dill. This is just the leftover dill. The cilantro I'll keep on the side because we're going to use that in the end for garnish. dill and parsley. And then oops. Whatever. So that takes care of the cilantro. All right, let's actually bring you guys back up on the counter for this next part. So just give me a moment while this portion of the ride is a little bit wobbly. I'm just adjusting the legs to the tripod. So that way I can put you back up on the counter over here. There we go. From the immersion blender. Let's see here. I need to plug you guys in. All right, sorry about that. TikTok, my phone gave me the notification that I need to charge the battery. I apologize about that. I did not notice that that had come up. But you are now plugged in and all should be well as we clean up the kitchen while the Mahshi again is cooking on the stove beside you. now we need to take care of all of this nonsense. So this is the leftover mahshi filling. Just going to repurpose it throughout the week. Just going to throw it in a pot, top it off with a little bit of water, let it cook for about 12-ish minutes, and then I will have some delicious rice that I can easily pair with chicken or fish or any type of lahma. This can go in the dishwasher. Salt and pepper we're all set with. The lemon we still need. Garlic, saving this for later. Not for this recipe though, we're all set for this one. See, we're doing okay on the time. Still have about 10 to 15 minutes before it'll be done cooking. These eggplants I'm saving for my next video, which I did yesterday, but I'm going to redo it because I just wasn't happy overall with it, where I make بتنجان مخلل, which the direct Arabic to English translation is pickled eggplant. Although it is not pickled in the traditional sense, that is literally just what the name of the dish is. It's essentially the eggplant is scored down the middle lengthwise, and then we fry it for a few minutes on each side, just enough for it to become tender. And then for the filling side of things, fresh garlic, if you want like any type of hot pepper, you can add, chili pepper, whatever it is that you like, for that optional added heat. And then cumin, sea salt, and black pepper. Those are 3 primary seasonings that you add to it. Give it all like a nice smash in a mortar and pestle. And then that essentially is what makes the filling. Then you just take a splash of that filling and you put it essentially in that center slit that you had made earlier to the eggplant. And then you garnish it with some fresh greens. And that is essentially it. It's a very simple, it's a very quick and easy appetizer in Egyptian culture. we are all cleaned up and good to go thus far. Let me actually bring you guys over here for now. Just give me one moment. Let me swap my cords for this while we got some downtime. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I am back. Here, let's tilt it a little bit this way so that way we can keep an eye on the eggplant as it's cooking. Some of these did fall over. It is what it is. You want to do your best to keep them standing up. Obviously, the more full you fill the pot, the better off it will be. If it falls over, it's not the end of the world. It just risks the rice coming out just based on how you pack it. The rice could spill out. Then you're left with just an eggplant. But we should be okay in terms of for this recipe video. So in the meantime, so we still have about 10-ish, we have 13 minutes, like roughly 13 minutes before we could swap it back over to where it will essentially be ready. But in the meantime, let's bring everybody up to speed on what is going on in today's live. We are making Mahshi Egyptian, which is stuffed eggplants, which is currently cooking in this pot as we speak. But recently, in other news, in terms of what's coming next and just everything in general. So if you have not already watched it today, I did just post my latest video for Mahshi Crumb, which is Egyptian style cabbage rolls. If you have not watched that video, definitely go watch it right now. Give it a like, give it a share, comment on it. Let me know what you guys think about it. It is definitely one of my top 3 favorite mahshi out there. My number 1 is Great Please, followed by number 2 and number 3 are kind of tied for me between eggplant and the cabbage rolls. It's they're like a really close tie. It's hard for me to decide which one I like best, but without question, Great Please is my ultimate favorite. And speaking of which, I am planning to make it in the next couple of weeks. Not only am I planning to go live for it, I will be working on a recipe video to post to my social media platforms and my website, theegyptiancook.com. That is actually where you can find all of my recipes with the ingredients list, written instructions, and video all in one place on my website, theegyptiancook.com, linked in my bio. But lately I have been working on, like the past several weeks now, I've been working on, I just want to knock out every mahshi out there. So I've already made mahshi fidfid, which is stuffed green or stuffed peppers. They're not specifically green, but green is the most common one that we use in Egyptian culture. So mahshi fidfid, that video is up. I also made batatas mahshiya, which is stuffed potatoes. That one is stuffed with lahma mafrouma, which is ground meat, and then baked in the oven in a homemade tomato sauce. So that one's up as well. And then I also, as I just said, just made my most recent one is Mahshi Crumb, which posted today for everyone. I went live last week, Sunday, or was it Monday? Monday, to make that this past Monday. By far my longest live that I've done thus far. That one was exhausting, just rolling all of the mahshi one by one, and and it was my first time ever doing it on my own as well. But overall, I was really satisfied with the results. So definitely go check it out, give it a like and a share, and let me know what you guys think in the comments section of that video. And then obviously, Mahshi Bidingan is next, what we're working on right now, which is the stuffed eggplant. And then I still have on the forecast grape leaves, onions, zucchini, and am I missing one of the other vegetables? I might be missing one that I can't think of right now, but from the non-vegetable side of things, so I said grape leaves, onion, and zucchini. And from the non-vegetable side of things, hamam mahshi, which is stuffed pigeon. It is still on my list, but that one is a challenge because just by me, it's really difficult to find good quality pigeon at any of the markets. But as soon as it is available, I will definitely hop on it and make it immediately. But that is essentially what I've been working on. Just been trying to make put together like all of the different types of mahshi out there, and just essentially put them all like back to back, I guess you could call it. Let's see, what else am I planning to make? I am planning to make thermos, which I still I keep on saying this. I need to remember the name of this bean in English. This one I will not be going live for, though. The reason for that is because it is essentially like a 1 week process to prepare this. Yeah, thermos is essentially prepared like as a snack, where think of like the pickling process, like if you're pickling whatever, fill in the blank. But minus the vinegar and all of that. So all we're literally going to use is just water and salt. So essentially it's a 7 day, like a roughly 7 day soaking process. And each day you swap out the water and so on and so forth. And on the final day, that's when you add a whole lot of salt to it. And then to eat this, you literally just grab it, one bean, you just use your hands, and then it will have like a really thick, like kind of like foggy, cloudy skin that you don't want to eat. So as you're holding the bean in your hand, you just give it like a little like twist with your thumb and your pointer finger, kind of like this, and it will break the skin, and it will simultaneously break the skin and push the bean out, and you just eat it as a snack. This was one of my favorite snacks that you can find in the city of Alexandria. So that's coming soon as well. But like I said, that one will be done behind the scenes, like without me going live, considering that it's a 7 day, like a roughly like a 1 week process. What else? I'm also planning to make basbousa again. So I made basbousa a little over a year ago. And I need to redeem myself for making it. So that I just got the dough today, like the flour that's supposed to be used for it. Just got it today, and I'm planning to make that within the next 2 weeks. And for that one, I will be going live for. I may possibly do it this Sunday, for my regular Sunday live. So if I don't do it this Sunday, I'm definitely going to do it the week after. But I think I'm going to do it this Sunday, and then the following week, that's most likely when I'm going to make the grape leaves. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I haven't fully decided just yet. Just being honest, full disclosure, I usually don't decide, especially like lately, the past couple months. I've been getting in this like really bad habit of waiting until the last minute to decide what I'm going to make. So like what I mean by that, so Sundays are my days where I like to go live and work on my recipe videos and all that good stuff. But lately I've been getting in the habit of not doing like in terms of deciding what I'm going to make and writing it and all that good stuff. Lately it's been Saturday night, like the night before, where when I'm deciding it. I need to just like get out of that habit and put myself on a schedule for this, and actually give myself more time to plan it out and all that. So that way I'm not in a similar situation to what I was yesterday, for example, where I decided I'm going to make Mahshi Bidingan, what I'm making right now. And when I went to go order the eggplants, I placed the order Saturday night for it to be delivered Sunday morning. So yesterday morning, first order, I did not receive it. Did not receive the eggplant. It was not delivered. And the second order, the eggplants that I received, a good majority of them were like literally the size of a like golf ball, ping pong ball, whatever you want to call it. So I still went live yesterday to do it, but not to make this. That's where I made the bidingan مخلل, the pickled eggplant instead. But I just overall was not happy with the overall was not happy with the I don't want to say overall again, but I'm just going to say it again. Whatever. I'm just going to be redundant. Overall, I was not happy with the overall like process and just everything with that yesterday. So I'm going to redeem myself on that one as well. It will probably be later on this week. I'll go live again for it, and then we will make it and we will do it right, and life will be good. All right, we got 3 minutes and counting until we can go back over. Let's take a quick peek. I think we should be okay. Just felt like the tip of the rose. See, if it felt tender or not, and I think we should be okay the next 3 to 4 minutes. So with that being said, we're going to when that time is up, we're going to swap back over to the countertop stove. I'm going to move you guys back over here beside the kitchen island. And then we will take the remaining shots that we need, which consist of the mahshi being plated. We're going to add some of the tomato sauce, broth, whatever you want to call it, the tomato juices, tomato water. On top, we're going to squeeze some fresh lemon juice as well. We're going to garnish it with some greens. We're going to take the pictures that we need for the for my video thumbnails for both, my social media platforms and for my website. And then we're going to record my intro and outro lines, just 2 simple lines. We're going to say Yalla Bismillah, and then we will eat, and life is good. And then I'll give a full synopsis of the live for today and what to expect for the final cut of the recipe video, like when it will post and everything. Then that will essentially conclude the live. Considering that we're at the tail end of things, that will probably take us another 3 hours to come. No, I'm kidding. It will not take us 3 hours to complete. I hope not. For this remaining part of the live. I'm just kidding with that. Because my lives usually take on average 4 hours, even for the simplest of things. Like yesterday when I was making the bidingan مخلل, it's literally just cutting the eggplant. You remove the stem, you cut the eggplant long ways, you kind of split it open, kind of like a clamshell. You fry it for a few minutes on each side for it to become tender, and then you combine garlic with some hot pepper, coriander, cumin, sea salt, black pepper, and a mortar and pestle. Smash it all down until it makes a saucy paste type filling. Then you take the eggplant that you just fried, and you fill the inside of it with that filling, and you garnish it with some greens. You serve it with some bread, and that still took me 3 hours to do yesterday. Whatever. It is what it is. All right. I need to unplug from this charger to the other one because I do have to rotate you guys around. It is now 6:30. So just give me a moment while we do what we need to do. Let me unlatch all the legs, the extenders for the tripod. All right, let's lock them in place. Sorry for the wobbly effect. Oops, wrong way. right. Oops. All right, let me just get everybody situated here. Oops, sorry about that, YouTube. All right. Let's bring this back over. Let's turn the camera back on. Once ready, need to turn it down a little bit. That was kind of way too violent. Let's try that again. Once ready, all right, let's make sure we're in focus, and then once ready. Flame accidentally went out, as it did again. There we go. Once ready, that should be okay. Now I just need serving dish. Just going to use a bowl for this one, like so. Need to adjust this camera. And you guys can follow along on that monitor. You can see what's going on with the camera as it is happening. Doing the test with uncooked, it's much easier for me to test this way, get it in focus, so that way I don't have to worry about it when using the actual cooked one. This should be okay. This can go away in the fridge. This can go over here beside me. So one thing to note, when making mahshi bidingan, there should still be leftover water or broth, whatever it is, whatever liquid you used to cook, there should still be essentially that broth or those juices still left over in the pot. You do not want it to dry dry up. If that happens, that essentially means you did not add enough means you did not add enough liquid. Not going to use tongs. That's a bad idea because I don't want to risk ripping it. As all of these are being knocked over, whatever. I need a towel over here by me. Let's see. For this next portion of me plating it, I'm essentially going to be radio silent as I'm doing this. just want them to show better in the bowl, but they keep on kind of sliding over, which I don't want that to happen. It's hot. Oh boy, oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. You know what? I could use a smaller bowl. I'll use this one instead. It's smaller, so I can stack them much easier. So, in theory. If not, whatever. It is what it is. All right. Let's try this again, ladies and gentlemen. Where's that spoon? TikTok wanted me to do the CAPTCHA thing, so sorry about that. I just saw flickering on my screen with the lighting. hoping this is better. We're about to find out. It's got to be better. This is going to be the thumbnail that I use for my recipe video, for the like recipe link on my website. Just need to get it in focus. Almost done, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for your patience as I go through this process. This right here is one of my most just challenging parts, is just getting it to focus. That's all I wanted to do, is just focus. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I think that should be okay for everything that I need. Without further ado, here you go, ladies and gentlemen. Egyptian style Mahshi Egyptian, which is stuffed eggplants in Egyptian culture. Yallah, bismillah. Need to adjust my camera for these. Need to record my intro and outro lines. And then we can say Yallah, bismillah, and we can eat. Let's see how we look. Of course, I'm in focus, but the food's not. For more Egyptian food, culture, and spontaneous yelling, click Join to become a member. It is one of the best ways to support what I do. Hopefully it all... Hopefully the food stayed in focus while I was slightly blurred out. Let's see. Oh. The bottom, like, of the plate, like the bottom row, not in focus, not good. This is essentially me playing the guessing game of trying to get it in focus. All right, that should be okay. Let's try this again. For more Egyptian food, culture, and spontaneous yelling, click Join to become a member. It is one of the best ways to support what I do. Hopefully it stayed in focus that time. And that message is specific to YouTube. I only post that for this clip for my YouTube version of the video. Okay, it looks like we're all in focus. I'm kind of blurred out. It's a good thing. We got it. You have to try this Egyptian food. Let's make this Egyptian style stuffed eggplant. You have to try this Egyptian food. Let's make this Egyptian style stuffed eggplant. I keep on saying it singular. I should not be saying it singular. It needs to be plural, not singular. 130, okay. And then the other one can go to... So I did the same thing in the first one. Oops, wrong button. Let's try this again. You have to try this Egyptian food. Let's make this Egyptian style stuffed eggplants. Please be in focus. Please, please, please be in focus. No, 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 no. You have to try this Egyptian food. Let's make this Egyptian style stuffed eggplants. You have to try this Egyptian food. Let's make this Egyptian style stuffed eggplants. You have to try this Egyptian food. Let's make this Egyptian style stuffed eggplants. That should be okay. Yalla bismillah. 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 I think that one will be in focus better, I hope. Let's find out. Okay, out of focus. Now we're in focus. Turn the bowl. Please stay in focus. Please stay in focus. I think we should be okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, one final look before I go radio silent again and eat. Yalla bismillah. Yalla bismillah. Here you go, YouTube. Here you go, TikTok. Mm-hmm. I hope that was in focus. We're good to go. Be right back. Just going to quickly wash my hands. All right, we can turn this off. I got everything that I need for this video. Let's just turn you guys this way a little bit. Sorry for that rockiness momentarily. So to bring everybody up to speed on what happened in today's live. Just give me one moment. Oops. All right. Let me tilt you guys just a little tiny bit more. Excuse me. To bring everybody up to speed on today's live, where we made Egyptian style stuffed eggplant, also known as Mahshi in Arabic. Essentially what we did to start off the live, we started by making the Mahshi filling. First thing we did was prepare the homemade tomato sauce. We fried some onions with minced garlic just for several minutes until it developed some nice color and became fragrant. Once that happened, then we added roughly diced tomatoes in. We seasoned it with coriander, cumin, sea salt, and black pepper. Those 4 seasonings. We gave it a nice mix, and then we blended it all together with an immersion blender to make the tomato sauce nice and smooth. Then once the tomato sauce was finished, we transferred it to a large mixing bowl. And then in that large mixing bowl, we added 3 greens. The first one being chopped parsley, then chopped cilantro, and then fresh dill. And the final ingredient to complete the mahshi filling was, of course, the ruz, also known as rice. We used Egyptian style, which is essentially like a medium grain rice. We gave everything a nice mix, and that completed the mahshi filling, which I actually have a bowl left over some. A bowl left over some. That's not even a complete sentence. But here is some of the leftover mahshi filling. I'm just going to repurpose this later on in the week, where I essentially just throw it in a pot, top it off with a little bit of water, as you would when making just, you know, your traditional white rice. Then you let it cook, and then you have some really delicious rice that you could pair with chicken, fish, or lahma, or anything that you desire. Absolutely delicious. So if you have any of the leftover filling, that is okay. Just cook it as is, and life is good. But once the mahshi filling was made, then we moved on to the eggplant, where we used these long and skinny ones. We removed the stem, and then we used a vegetable core to remove the eggplant guts. Then once that happened, where we essentially hollowed out the eggplant, we took the mahshi filling and we packed the eggplant with that mahshi filling. We did not overpack it tight because the ruz still has to cook, and when it cooks, it does expand. So if you pack it tight, you do risk it breaking the eggplant, which you do not want that to happen. Then once all the eggplant was stuffed back into the same pot we used for making the tomato sauce, we originally stood the eggplant up, but then when we added the water mixture, they kind of fell over. But it is what it is. Only a little bit of the rose spilled out, but overall, we did not lose too much of it. But for the water mixture, once we put all the stuffed eggplant in the pot, we combined water with sea salt and a splash of tomato paste. We gave it a nice mix Then we poured it in the pot, and that is essentially what we use to cook the stuffed eggplant. There are people out there who do like to use, broth or stock or any of those types of flavors. You can do that too, but the way I did it is water, sea salt, and a splash of tomato paste. We let it reach a boil, then we turned it down to a low simmer. Total cook time was roughly like 40 to 45 minutes, somewhere in that ballpark. Essentially, you want the rice to be nice and tender, and cooked all the way through. Then, of course, the eggplant doesn't really take long for it to cook in general. So the eggplant, without question, should be nice and tender. Then you will be left over with, regardless of whatever liquid you use for the cooking, you'll be left with some of that in the pot. If the pot is dry, that is a bad sign. You want to be able to have some of these juices left over, regardless of what you use, whether it's my method or the stock or broth, whatever it is that you choose. You want to have some of that broth left over. Then we plated everything once it was cooked. Well, we plated it twice because the first plate was just like way too big and it kept on falling over, whatever. So when I switched to this plate, kind of had the same problem, but it is what it is. We got through it. We plated it. We poured some of that tomato sauce over it, like the tomato broth. I'm just going to call it, even though it's not broth. The tomato juices. Poured some of that over it, squeezed some fresh lemon juice as well, and then we garnished it with some fresh cilantro. We said Yallah Bismillah. We took 2 bites, we drank some water, then I ran my mouth for a few minutes, and that brings you up to speed on today's live. And for those of you on YouTube, the original live, the first live, for whatever reason, it got cut. I have no idea why. As I was going through, I think it was right when I was about to start working on the eggplant itself. We had just finished the Mahshi filling, if I remember correctly, and then suddenly I noticed my screen, my phone screen just went black, which was strange. And for whatever reason, the live ended. So on the YouTube side of things, this took place in 2 lives, like part 1, part 2, unfortunately. TikTok, we made it all the way through in 1 live to make this. And other than that, I'm just going to be quiet now, take a few more bites, and then I'll give you guys a heads up of what to expect for this recipe video, and so on and so forth, and that will conclude today's live. Yallah Bismillah. All right, ladies and gentlemen. There you have it. Here's all that's left of what I made. I only made 9 of them, I think altogether. 3 are left, so you guys do the math. But other than that, what's to come next? So tonight I'm going to be working on editing the recipe video, the final cut of this recipe video. It will post exclusively to my YouTube members by tomorrow night. For everyone else who is not a channel member on my YouTube, it will not post until the following week. Also, in other news, this Sunday, I think Sunday, I'm going to make the decision now. I'm going to be making basbousa live, Egyptian style basbousa, because I do need to redeem myself from the last time I made it. Last time I made it was like a little over a year ago. And it turned out good, but it definitely needs improvement. So stay tuned for that. I also plan on making Mahshi grape leaves soon, like the next 2 to 3 weeks. So stay tuned for that live. I'm also going to be redeeming myself for yesterday's live, where I originally was going to make this, but then I had to improvise and make pickled eggplant, or the bidingan mekhalid, instead. And even though it turned out, in terms of flavor, it turned out good, I just was not happy with the overall video in general. So I'm going to redeem myself on that one as well too. That one will be sometime this week. I have not decided which day this week that will be. So those are my next 2 lives coming up. Sunday for sure, I'm making basbousa. And then in the next few days, I will be making the bidingan mekhalid. Mahshi grape leaves is coming in the next 2 or 3 weeks. I also have other types of mahshi planned, like the onions, zucchini, and hamam mahshi. But the hamam mahshi is a challenge because I just need to be able to find hamam mahshi. For those of you who do not know, is stuffed pigeon. The challenge with that one is finding the pigeon in, like, a good quality pigeon in any of my local grocery stores or supermarkets. So that's the challenge. It's highly requested. I just need to find, need to be successful in finding it. Then I will make it for you guys. But other than that, that concludes today's live, where I made this Egyptian style stuffed eggplant. Thank you to everybody who watched today. If you have not already watched my latest video that I posted today, I posted a new recipe video today for Mahshi crumb, which is Egyptian style stuffed cabbage rolls. If you have not watched it, as soon as this live concludes, go watch that video. Give it a like and a comment. Let me know your thoughts on it. Share it with your friends and family. And most importantly, try it for yourself. That is why I do what I do, to essentially share something new with you guys, different side of culture that you may have not been exposed to, or there are those of you who may not necessarily know how to make these foods, which are part of your culture, and this is a way, means for you to reconnect with your roots and culture. So definitely check out my latest video of Mahshi crumb, which is Egyptian style stuffed cabbage rolls. I'm sure you will like it. Other than that, thank you everybody who tuned in today to my live. I am Muhammad the Egyptian Cook, and have a wonderful night.